for utility models nonetheless. So the benefits can obviously be understood from the way the people are applying or seeking protection under the utility model system. We come to the Australian system of utility model. In 1979, Australia introduced petty patent system. But this system failed to take off because, surprisingly, the system was as stringent as the existing patent system. This did not benefit the people, and therefore they decided to go in for a newer model. The newer model, the Australian petty patents had only one claim that it could enforce. So obviously people were not benefiting. Now the entire system has been changed. They are allowing you to enforce 5 claims. Their duration has increased to 8 years. Examination has been deferred. Opposition has been deferred. So it makes for an easier system. So the proof lies in the pudding, and the statistics say that electrical devices and engineering increased 350%, IT increased, applications in IT sector increased 390%, and in the pharma sector, applications increased 560%. The next slide I'm just going to sort of omit. It's there for you to see as to how they have applied for the patents. I come next to the rationale for design law. Design again was created as an adjunct to the patent law when people in the UK were quite fed up with the patent system and the tardy processes. And of course, at that point of time, marketing of products took on in a big way, and with the printing of cloth, designs became an important thing. So the Calico Act was introduced in 720. Fundamentally, design is linked to twin phenomena of demand and supply, production and consumption, and buying and selling, as simple as that. Any person who is a seller wants to market his product or package his product in such a beautiful way that it becomes appealing to the customer. And so the idea of any shape, pattern, ornamentation, lines, colors, combinations thereof attached to an article of manufacture can be protected as a design. The issue with design is that it is purely aesthetic. It is purely applied only to the external features, and I think Nandan is going to be dwelling more on designs, and he will be covering that aspect. So just some interesting thought. Designs for the Statue of Liberty as well as design for Coca-Cola bottle have all been taken in the 19th century. So it's interesting to see how it complements the patent law. And so what cannot be protected can be, if the functional aspects cannot be protected, the ornamental aspects can be clearly protected of any product. So this is the design trend in India. We can see it is still very, very low. As of 2013 and 14, the applications received were 8,533, as opposed to which 7,178 applications received design protection. So clearly a larger and a greater awareness needs to be taken to the grassroots innovators to encourage them to file more designs. So we come to the last few slides, that is the pitfalls of the benefits of the second tier protection. It's obvious. It would mean more protection for them. It would encourage them to operate in a free and fearless environment. It would create a culture of ethics and fair competition. And of course, fair competition means it would create a culture of licensing and more revenues. It's all there for us. Very obviously, one can understand. However, it's not as simple as we make it out to be. There are some pitfalls of all of these systems, which I have tried to capture here. Mostly I'm not going to dwell on the patent pitfalls. I'm going to only dwell on the utility model pitfalls. The issue over here is that we are talking about a no examination system. And if we are talking about no examination system, then that brings in a lot of discretionary factor. So many a times, utility model patents are awarded perhaps undeservedly. 2 is that to seek utility model patents, even the innovator has to ultimately do a search to see that it is not stepping on patented technology. So either way, it is at the risk of being infringed or is likely to infringe. So it's not really able to avoid litigation costs. This system obviously encourages evergreening and IP tickets, and it increases an outward flow of net royalty and licensing fees to overseas producers. Just as much it increases the export value of the product. Designs, as such, they are weak protection. The irony of design, as the law requires it, it has to be novel and original. Generally operates as novel or original. Novel being the first time, so we have to again do a prior art. Nothing should be in the public domain. And original means there has to be some ingenious idea behind the design, both which are very difficult to prove. So if anything can be found to be close to the design, it is generally rejected. So really, one wonders how one can make it much more easily applicable in the marketplace. So the doubts that are coming up over here is, even after getting the design protection, a newer form can come out and edge out the innovator. I come to the last slide, and I leave you with this thought. We can always do the question-answer session at the end. Thank you so much.